Okay, good day. I'm Dennis Aguinaldo, and I wish to discuss graphic arts in BA Communication Arts thesis. Okay, what is the BACA thesis? It's a literary text, 50-page minimum, could go for more. It's devoted to a single genre, either fiction or all of it is poetry. Sometimes it's mixed. No, you get a mix of essays and poetry. And you have that scholarly section where the student analyzes his own thesis called the genetic criticism. The whole process is guided by an advisor and a critic. Okay, so at this point, we see that the thesis is purely textual. Okay, all of it is fiction, drama. So these are words, right? However, as early as I think 2005, in my experience, I've seen insertions of illustrations by students or their friends. They ask permission. Okay, go, fine. But later, we got more and more requests for um, the graphic component, and these grew. The pages, the graphic pages, grew in quantity and in significance. Significance meaning you can't separate now. In some projects, you can't separate the graphic component from the project. However, in 2018, we released a new curriculum along with the rest of UPLB in reaction to certain things like K to 12 and uh, outcome-based education. Okay, and the net effect is that there was an increase in visual content. Okay, visual culture, visual art, visual design. For BACA major courses, and also in general education, we have arts one and we have Phil arts one, which was more than what we had uh, in the old curriculum. The pandemic also, I think, increased our interest in visual arts, or returned us to visual arts. It remains to be seen if that will that these changes will take. So why engage in this conversation? So aside from the inherent benefits of art appreciation and literary criticism, we want to know how we can manage our students in this new program, especially within this particular interest, this new thesis system. Okay, and post university, if we care, where will we take our students if they wish to publish, they wish to exhibit? Perhaps this conversation will engage that question as well. It's also very important for our current students, for ourselves as teachers, and perhaps also for our alumni, that we use uh, homegrown work, to as classroom material for the future. So these are the three samples that we'll be talking about: Hiding Places by Nicolette Bautista, Unfold by Dyna Mariel Bade, and Sangandaan by Juvelle Villanueva. All of these are works from the old curriculum. Okay, um, and while I'll be discussing samples of these works or showing samples of these works, I definitely won't be doing justice to the entirety of the thesis, which are very varied and very rich. For example, Nicolette's Hiding Places is a set of children's stories, rendered in different styles, in terms of text and graphics. And they are all great works, but we can only discuss one: Rain Built the Flower House, starring Kai and her grandmother, Nanang. My house is torn down the middle like a piece of paper. It is a dollhouse with its chest open, exposed for all the people on the street to see. The neighbors' eyes always skip over our little house while they get into their shiny cars in the morning or walk their dogs at night. Next door neighbor is an old lady who always clicks her tongue over her cup of hot tea and mahjong tiles. She gathers her friends for a game every afternoon on the porch. They do not like my house's jagged edges. Okay, so we will later learn that we will feel, no, it's not really said, but we will feel, no, that we're not really talking about a house here, no, but a domestic situation where the father has abandoned, no, Kai, her mother, and her brothers. Okay, so part of this story, a significant part of the story is when they visit Nanang. No? So kung meron kayong parang evil no, old lady sa first part, here you have Nanang, who is their mother's side, and she's talking to Kai about pruning. Okay, sometimes you take away and cut away parts of the plant, even if it looks healthy. Nanang points to a little tree at the end of a garden. Sometimes a plant will look healthy, but we're not really looking. When we prune it properly and cut away some of the parts we think we need, we can help the plant grow to be healthy. Someday it will grow even prettier flowers. So this pruning lesson and other wisdom, no? In the same way that we didn't know that initially that the house was about the abandonment of a parent, here we're also actually talking about coping mechanism and strategies, no, for the child. No? At the end, we get a visual promise that the pruning will achieve its intended effect, the beneficial effect for Kai. Okay, Dinah's unfold, no, one best creative thesis during that year, and it's her working on origami while also doing, autobiography in poetic form. No? So there are 5 sections. We'll take from the first one, just one poem. No? Number 3, fold horizontally and vertically until the paper forms equal halves. Create creases. Inside the house are 2 girls, siblings. Mother and father are warm towards you, but sometimes quite cold towards sister. Tears were dropping from the older sister's face. Whenever for you they give, sister says. Without immediately realizing it, tears were also dropping from your face. Whenever I ask, they say no, she says. You tried to compensate for the lacking warmth because you never wanted this, but the creases that divide are already there, and they just keep on increasing, right? So you have your origami. It's not really just folding. You have to fold and unfold, and your creases create the guidelines for the next thing, for the next move. Okay, so she's comparing this whole thing, this whole process to what's happening to her sister and to herself, where their affection, is coming from, in fact, as a sort of reaction, to the lack of affection that one of them is getting from the parent. So this is how it will play out through the whole thing. You get sections of her life, playing out while she's working out the paper for her work. Last, we have Juvelle's Sangandaan, which is a set of infographics, or mapping. So we have, for example, of UPLB, the entry point. We have your UHS and also CVM. Let's look at the entry point. So entry point closer, Universidad Universo. Let's look at the last one, the last paragraph. Sa tuwing bumabalik akong LB mula sa loob ng jeep o kotseng sinasakyan, tumudungaw ako sa bintana at mapapatingin Q na lang ay mga sasakyang pangkalawakan. Okay, so ito yung tono natin, kind of light, very humorous, very open. Okay, and it's a sustained wonder from youth hanggang college. However, hindi naman to naive. Okay, halimbawa dito sa baba, tingnan natin si Roy, na unang nakalihok sa mob. I felt safe kasi marami naman kami. But this is juxtaposed sa ibabaw, kalachuchi, mayabong tuwing tag-init, sumisimbolo rin sa kamatayan. So there are these touches throughout, so such that it's light, but there are these things, in the cracks, so to speak. For example, so you have something of you have your pegarao, sumisimbolo sa paglipad at pagkamit ng mataas na nakaalaman. At sa taas pa nito, no, yung katahimikan na pinapairal sa buong gusali mula basement hanggang ikatlong palapag, since this is a library and also administration office. So, things are set, di ba? Pero pag tinignan natin sa likod na pegaraw, may finocus na bahagi si Juvelle, anumang pagtatangkang basaging ito ay pinagbabawal ng otoridad. No? At meron ng crack. No? So, meron na tayong clue sa history ng kung ano nangyari dito. Nagkaroon ng tension, nabasag ito noong sa enrollment. No? Nagkakaroon ng clash, no? Yung estudyante at saka yung otoridad. Okay. Panghuli, no, tingnan na lang natin itong SU, no, na close up. So first part, meron tayong sinulat tungkol sa pagpapalit anyo ng struktura. So build bricks, pintura, etc. Sa baba, meron tayo nung portraiture ng mga tao, anong ginagawa nila dito. Meron na namang historical fact, no, kung saan nagkaroon ng Occupy SU, kung saan ginagamit itong espasyo sa isang special na pamaraan, no? Pwede natin sabihin subversibong paraan. Okay. At sa huli, si Josh, no, na magsasalita na nakakatuwa. Gusto ko itong bahaging to na sinabi daw ng prof niya sa DevCom na pwedeng mag-engrave ng sounds sa glass. No? At yun yung iniisip niya, ilan na kaya yung tugtog na nakuha ng mga salamin sa SU. Ito rin yung ginagawa ni Juvelle, no? Saka ng mga thesis natin dito. Nilalagay sa kanilang mga thesis yung mga tugtog ng buhay nila, basically. Okay? Maraming salamat, no, sa inyo, sa mga estudyante na nagpahiram ng kanilang mga akda, saka sa inyong panahon na nilaan para makasama kami dito.